Hi there everyone, I am a hip dysplasia warrior. I had my left PAA back in February of this year. It is now just coming up to the end of November, which is a little scary. I'm also a running coach and I've just restarted my journey back into running. So this is about, where are we now, 9 months post-op. I've done a video before for Miles4Hips about maybe the things that you need to think about before you start on your running journey. So making sure that your surgeon has signed off on your bone healing, making sure that your physiotherapist is happy with your muscle strength, your balance, your agility. And also some basic tests that you could do yourself to just get your own sense of where you are with being able to return to run. Running is a very high impact and repetitive sport, so if you have any weaknesses from a musculature point of view or any imbalances still from a gait or movement pattern point of view, then running is going to amplify them. So you do need to be careful and just listen to your body and make sure that you're at the right point to restart your running journey as well. So 2 weeks ago I started off, and this is coming from somebody who's run marathons, run ultra marathons, done a huge amount of running over the years. I started back off on my Couch to 5K journey. I downloaded a great Couch to 5K app. It's being built in the UK in partnership with the BBC, and the reason why I downloaded that one is because you get audio files that narrate your Couch to 5K run, so it tells you when to run and when to walk, which I thought brilliant. You get a choice of voiceover, and one of them is Michael Jordan, so that's my reason for choosing that app. There are so many apps out there. A lot of them have the audio cues, which I find really handy, telling you when to run, when to walk. Now it felt almost a little bit like I was just brand new at running and that I'd never run before, to be quite honest with you. It felt like it was a very odd movement pattern. I've had a periacetabular osteotomy on my left side but not my right, and it did feel like one side felt quite different to the other still, even though I've been progressing really well with my physiotherapy, balance, proprioception, sort of hopping and jumping exercises. Running did feel really quite different and weird. So I guess maybe that's the first kind of thing to point out. Don't be too worried if things are feeling a little bit different. Although it's a familiar movement pattern, your whole hip, if you've had surgery, will be in a slightly different place, whether you've had an osteotomy or a replacement. And also your muscles would have been through a lot as well, so they're still on a bit of a learning curve in terms of the correct movement patterns. They're relearning them because it's going to be different to what it was for you before. The reason that I've chosen the Couch to 5K app, Michael Jordan's brilliant voiceover aside, is it's a really good way of gently reloading your body. So your bones will gradually adapt and grow stronger as you load them with impact, which is great. But the way that they get stronger is actually by breaking themselves down slightly. They become weaker for a little bit in order to then build themselves stronger again. So that's something you've got to bear in mind a little bit with running overall, regardless of any sort of medical things going on. So the Couch to 5K takes that thought process, you don't have to worry about that thought process at all. It manages that gradual loading and the rest and recovery that's needed to get back into running again. I would say it's still important to listen to your body though. So as an example, I completed week 1 of Couch to 5K. Yeah, I was probably a little sore for maybe the afternoon or the rest of the day after each run. Made sure I left a rest day in between each one, which is key for recovery. And by the end of the week, the final run of the 3 of that first week felt much better, felt stronger, felt like my body was getting the hang of it again, which was a really good sign. Week 2, I did my first run. The run reps as part of the run walk sort of sequence were getting slightly longer. That first run went really well. It was 6 repetitions, and by the time I got to number 5 or 6, I could feel that my muscles were fatiguing. Depressingly, but true. And I could just feel that there was a little bit of movement. I was getting slight soreness on the inside of my knee, which for me is a sign that my muscles around my hip are not controlling the movement of my leg very well at that point. I also went to a concert of a local band, possibly did a little bit of dancing, and that just caused a little bit more hip pain that week. So what I've done this week, as I've started that second week of the Couch to 5K again, so because there was that little bit build up of soreness and fatigue that I'd noticed, that my body wasn't quite as happy as it had been in week 1 with where things were, just feeling those movement patterns, feeling where the little aches and sorenesses were, just taking a step back and going, no, hang on, I'm going to do week 2 again. So that's a key, I think, when returning to running and any sport, in fact, particularly, with a condition like dysplasia and particularly post-surgery, to listen to your body, because everyone is different, and all of these Couch to 5K programs are very one-size-fits-all, and whilst they're a great framework to work to, you need to work out what's right for you. I'll maybe keep you a little bit posted on my return to running journey. It's something that I'm obviously really passionate about as part of my job, and I'm really keen to get back into. But on the flip side to that, I think for me personally, I've got to think a little bit about whether returning to too much running is going to have a potentially negative effect on my health journey, whether or not the other hip needs any surgery, and also my other goals for life. So, sort of hiking, mountaineering, sort of other things that I want to get back into. And there's a balance to be found in there, and I'm not sure where that balance is at the moment. So I'm going to go on a bit of a journey to see if I can find it. Yeah, keep me posted maybe. There's lots of areas and Facebook groups and things through Miles4Hips where you can get a little bit involved and maybe comment on how your running journey is going. Be interesting to be able to share lots of people's stories. Best of luck with your journey.